Hi guys, Assalamu alaikum, hope you're well. I want to talk about Zimbabwe today. You guys all know that I really like Zimbabwe a lot. I like the people, I like the way things operate down there. I like the fact that there's great business opportunity. But have you ever thought yourself about expanding your business into Zimbabwe? Have you thought about what makes Zimbabwe so successful at the moment in terms of their growth? I know there's a lot of negative speculation. I know there's a lot of drive from the West that's pushing a rhetoric about changing of government and all of those type of political agendas. But I'm just talking business because we're business people. And I must just tell you that I love doing business down there because things get done. And it's not for any other reason other than people in Zimbabwe actually believe that they're working together as a team. They're team players. But if you think about how to do business in Zimbabwe, it's actually quite easy. You go out there, you meet whoever it is in the industry, you find a way of being able to commit yourself to a certain timeline. You work with the authorities, you work with the institutions, and you'll find that their grasp of what you're trying to tell them is a lot faster than in our banking industry. And number two, the ability to help you, even though they can't perhaps help you with your request to the institution, for example, at a bank in Zimbabwe, they'll extend their help to assist you in other ways without any reward or without wanting anything in return. So that's one of the positive things about Zimbabwe. The other thing is that you'll find that everyone's driven by the fact that we're working together to make the nation a better place, which is amazing. Everyone's not only concerned about their pockets, but about everyone else's success. And they want people to be successful. Now, when you look at how Zimbabwe runs at the moment, there's an election coming, as you well know. I think it's on the 23rd of August, from what I'm told. And a lot of people are out there hoping to understand what it is that the current regime has done. But I can tell you, I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen the airport being built, the roads being repaired. I've seen industry being performing in a higher rate of, like you cannot understand. I think a lot of people are employing more people in industry and manufacturing, mining, etc. I've seen a lot of change in the way people themselves are getting the employees to become a part of their business in terms of risk and reward. I've seen the currencies is something that is up and down in Zimbabwe. But like most countries and emerging countries that have sanctions in this case, what do you expect? I do think they've done a fantastic job when you look overall at the mining, and particularly the initiatives in the mining industry. I see Chinese people and Russians, Eastern Europeans, and British people, in some cases too, falling over themselves to get into Zimbabwe. Why? Because there's a country that has got a huge amount of resources, natural resources, precious and non-precious metals. But more importantly, they've got human capital, which is amazing. And the human capital is educated, lustful around the issue of being able to ensure that they give their best every single day and work the hours, put in a huge amount of entrepreneurship into your projects. I think the infrastructure in Zimbabwe is improving. I do also think that when it comes to Zimbabwe, their foreign debt is very little in comparison to other countries that I've been visiting. I think that given the lithium opportunities in Zimbabwe and possibly even gas that has been discovered in Zimbabwe, it could become a real significant player in the Southern African region, particularly for energy generation in various forms. As I mentioned, lithium, gas, etc. They have coal in abundance. So the country is focused and primed to be in a pole position for takeoff. And I think I'm so happy to have been there for a long period of time so that perhaps I can be part of the success of going forward with Zimbabwe. I do see that there's less resistance from many countries in Europe, South Africa, and other Western European countries in general, and even in some cases of Sri Americans in Zimbabwe that are desirous in doing business. And I think that it's going to take time for those people to understand the culture of Zimbabwe, to understand the culture of its people, how they do business, how flat the structures can possibly be, how decision-making can be quite short in terms of timeline and in terms of getting things done. I think these are all benefits entrepreneurs need to look at very carefully. I think when you talk about double-digit dollar returns is something that Zimbabwe is very competent and capable of delivering to an investor. So that's something as well which is quite interesting in today's time and age. There's been a lot of pushback for investors to put money and cash into new investments. But I do believe that Africa in general is the continent of the future. I certainly believe that Africa has got every single ingredient necessary for success, whether it's to ensure that we have food security, water security, raw material and natural resources from that security perspective, or whether it just comes from climate and being able to have fun in a beautiful environment that's particularly untouched in many respects. Tourism as well. I do rate Zimbabwe. I know it's right at the end of the alphabet and it starts with Z, but so does my name. Guys, just a quick one. The purpose of this is for me to, I don't really want to challenge you, but invite you to explore the possibility of looking at expanding your businesses in other countries. But the message is, first go to Zimbabwe. And insofar as that's concerned, if there's some stuff you want to know, if there's something I can help you with, if there's a direction I can point you in, I'm there and I'm happy to do it, because I do believe that Zimbabwe is the next great destination in Southern Africa. But yes, when it's growing your business, please reach out. And if I can help you, as I mentioned, send me a mail. I'll see what I can do.